Hey guys, today I just want to talk about something that I've been going through recently, which is unemployment. Yes, so I quit my job about 3 months ago, and initially I thought it would be like freaking awesome because you have all this time to do what you really want. So, the initial stages, I was like, okay, this is cool. I get to pursue my interests and try to find out what I really want to do in life. And you know how the saying goes, right? Like, follow your passion. So, yeah. But that's the thing. I guess you only hear about people who succeed in life. You don't hear about the many stories of people failing, and I guess my story will be one of failure, right? So previously I've been gaming through my life. So what happened with all this time is that all of it would be spent gaming instead of actually doing productive stuff. And as much as I tried to, it went on and on. I tried different methods such as even banning like the websites like YouTube and stuff. But you know, if there's a way to ban it, there's always a way to get around it, and I ended up like using incognito mode to do it. So yeah, that didn't work out. So anyways, um yeah, my experience with unemployment, it hasn't been going great, to be honest. I think we as humans innately need to find something to do with our lives, and if you don't, every day would be spent like n- not being fruitful, basically. And yeah, I guess part of the reason why I quit my job was that I did not like the work. And I think one of the lessons that I learned was, if you haven't figured out what to do with life, you should definitely look for other jobs before quitting. Cause that was a huge mistake on my part. And I guess anxiety and depression will come in at a point where you have prolonged periods of unemployment, and this would like eat into you. Because you're not earning money, you're not doing anything productive with your life, and slowly the days will go by, and this turns into weeks and then months. Yeah. So, mm, I guess one takeaway would be to find another job if you hate your current job. Yeah, and so after all this time, I still haven't figured out what I wanted to do with my life, and I guess it was a huge disappointment. I felt that given this amount of time, I would be able to figure it out, but now I guess I'm in the process of finding another jobs. And I think the biggest thing, which is always a conflict, maybe not in other people but in me, is that the money versus like what you want to do, right? So jobs that pay more usually pay more because there's a reason for it, because people don't want to do it, right? Be it long hours or it's a really stressful job. And on the other hand, jobs that are very menial, requires like not much effort, they pay low. So I guess it's very, very difficult to find a job that balances this. And especially in my case where, I just found myself um not wanting to get into any of these jobs because back when I was studying for my degree in accounting, I already knew that this was maybe not for me. But at the end of the day, right, I think I've learned after being unemployed that you still need some sort of work to survive, to get out of bed, you know. And yeah, I guess this is one of the things. One other thing I really wanted to talk about is this illusion of entrepreneurship. Like people always put it on this pedestal that life is gonna be super awesome. Get to wake up whenever, you get to travel the world. For some reason, you have this amount of money that allows you to, and you're sort of like worshipped by other people or idolized by other people. And I guess there has to be some sort of aim or goal before you choose to take this path, because when I first quit my job, I was like, okay, entrepreneurship is probably gonna be the way that I make my living, and I'm just gonna make it. But I've realized that it's really, really exponentially hard to do things by yourself. Like, imagine the amount of logistics that go into putting up a team of people so that you can create a company. But imagine doing all this by yourself when you know you're competing against like people who are much more hardworking, people who are smarter. But then you see all these like young kids, succeeding in life, like earning millions of dollars, and you just like feel like, compare yourself. As in, I compare myself, and I'm thinking like, man, why? it's, yeah. So I think I did try, but it wasn't my hardest. There was no motivating factor, there was no push, there was no pressure to perform. And I guess that is what um kind of stumbled me. Like, I tried to get into Twitch streaming, and I realized how difficult that was. Like, there's thousands of gamers out there, and when you start, you're just gonna be like right at the bottom of the Twitch feed, where you're competing with like hundreds of people with 0 to 1 viewer. So I gave that up pretty quickly, and after that I decided, okay, since I love games so much, why don't I actually create one. So I took up a course on Udemy, and I realized that, freak man, game development definitely not a one person job unless you're really, really good. It's very difficult to be a indie game developer even as a single, and much harder if you're a single man, because I'm talking about things like you have to find the audio for the sounds, then each character, you have to do the programming yourself, you need to find like the game assets, So at the end of the day, I was like, okay, this is possible, definitely possible for a one man job, but is it gonna make any money? Like after you create a game, I'll still be competing with so many other games out there, and I don't even have a background creating games, so I was like, okay, I just need to get another job and maybe do this on the side over the long term, right? So that's less risky. And I guess back then I didn't realize how hard the job application process was. Like you need to look through so many like different job advertisements and go for interviews, and some of these jobs aren't even like it's so like sometimes they interview you even though you're underqualified, which is quite weird in my opinion, because when I go for interviews they're like, oh, you can't do like all these things that we require you. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's not easy to find candidates as well, but yeah, it's not easy to find a job either. And this process takes time. So it has all been weighing on my mind recently, and I hope, I don't know, I hope that somehow it will work out. And I guess if you are someone like me, maybe brings you comfort that you're not the only one. I don't know. I feel that this quarter life crisis thing, it's a real thing that maybe some other people go through. Like like we are all trying to find our place in the world, right? We are all trying to give back some sort of value to society, to create something that we can be proud of. And yeah, it it's pretty tough, I guess. Yeah. And I guess the one of the big issues of quitting your job is that you're gonna be alone. Like even if you're living in your own house with like family, most of the time you're gonna be alone, and trying to figure things out by yourself is not it's not easy, especially at a time where I'm so confused with what the next steps would be. And I guess the most important thing is to keep moving forward, I guess. Yeah. And I hope this helps in your struggle. Like you're not the only one.